Welcome to Old Tree Vintage. My name is Manny Savignano, and today we're going to look at a bandsaw. We're going to unbox it, get it together, and test it. Okay, so it's called TackLife is the brand. So if you've never heard of it, let's see what it can do. Here's the box. TackLife is the brand. Let's open her up. We'll look at the parts. We'll set all the parts out for you to see. And we'll go from there. Okay. Alright, so user manual. This is a 10-inch, by the way. 10-inch bandsaw. Aluminum, so it's not heavy. This is part of the table that expands, so this will expand for us. Okay, so I just kind of showed you the parts, and now you can see some of the bigger parts here. But let's talk about this real quick. This is a 10-inch 3.5 amp bandsaw. So it's not large, it's not a big one. This actually replaced, I had a 14-inch, so that was much bigger, but I don't really, at least not for any time soon, see a need for a smaller one. I'm sorry, for a larger one, and I don't want the smaller one. So a couple quick things before we kind of put this thing together. Price point. Now I'm going to tell you what I paid for this here in a second, which will include shipping. Shipping was free, but a 10-inch would normally, especially for the price I paid, but normally they would come like a bench top and you'd mount it to something and do it that way. This, however, came with the, here's a part I've panned it before, for the base. So that's another reason why I got this one. Because most everything I have in here, except for the counters behind me and around the side, everything moves. It was like that in my old shop as well. So I wanted to keep that, and I have an old mobile base that will fit this from before that I brought, and we're going to use it on this guy. Okay, so we'll put it together and we will see how it goes. We'll give you some feedback as we use this and move on, throughout the process and making stuff as we do here on Old Tree Vintage. So if you've ever heard of TackLife, go ahead and comment down below. I want to interact with you guys if you're watching. See what you think of it. If you've never, I've really never heard of it till I started looking it over, but definitely I think a decent buy, and we'll see quality. We'll see how that goes. So the price point with shipping from Amazon is was $244 for everything. The base, it all comes as you saw in that package, and I thought definitely something to try out. So if you've never heard of it, or you're curious, make sure you stick with this, watch it to the end, and also stay with us here on Old Tree Vintage. Please subscribe and ring that bell below, and we'll keep you updated on this and projects that we're going to do, and also some other open boxes we have that I've had sitting around. We need to get them open so we can put them to work and get to some projects. So I do have a project coming up, and I think you'll enjoy that, hopefully. But let's go ahead and get this thing put together so we can use it. Okay, so just a couple of quick things. This has labels and different things here, but so you know, they're really not, they don't mean anything, because they label, you know, A4, A5, A6, and if you go back in the book like I was showing you before, it shows you like all of these are A, and then there's B. So you'll see 4 long ones, and the longest one's there, and of course those are the legs. Then you'll see this little rectangle inside there, that's these. Okay, and you could tell because these have these 2 holes there, and then here, and then if you look on this, there's 2 up there, 2 down there. So you could figure it out. The directions are, well, there really aren't any other than this for the base, and you already saw what it was for the actual machine itself. But you can, you know, if I could do it, you could do it. All right, so, and then these 2 pieces, these 2 are this one and this one, and then these 2 pieces right here are that one and that one. Okay, so I just wanted you to see just how that goes. Not hard, directions are terrible, or lacking, I should say, but it definitely isn't hard. So just to show you this piece, this you have to take off when you put this on, okay? Because it doesn't allow you to like string that bolt in there. So what I did was I held that with pliers while I put this on, and once I got it to bite real quick, you just push this up, and then you have to find a way to spin that. So if you're you can get it, it's just kind of annoying how they have it. So just something to let you know of. And then we got to finish securing it up here, but we're getting there. All right, so we have this secured all the way around, and I will tell you, it is definitely lower than I was hoping. But we got most of this and together. Now I still have to level this. I don't know if that's level, and we adjust this underneath here to ensure that. But a couple of quick minor things that I do like without, it hasn't been turned on yet. Little things like this piece right here, that keeps it when you're sliding in here. If I can get it lined up here. So you can have a bigger piece of wood and you're backed up here if you're cutting it. Now I have this on, but you can probably take this off. But it would be nice if these extended all the way out so that you can, you know, use that space with this. Nonetheless, this is decent. A couple other things. Now this upper one doesn't quite have it, but this one does, and this is where it's most important. This brush. So it keeps all the dust off of this here, so it doesn't mess your blade up as it's going around. So that's very important. And then underneath, it has some decent features that it'll ride on. Keep it aligned, as you can see. And then up here, we have this channel that it stays in, which is newer on table saws. I'm sorry, newer on bandsaws. It still has these, but I thought that was nice. Now, I don't know the quality compared to this on the more expensive and or bigger machines, but it's definitely nice. So brush was nice. That's something I probably would have put on, or I might replace that with something a little bit better, but nonetheless it's on there and it's nice. So all right, so these holes will help it mount to anything. Okay, so we now have it completely put together. It's not too bad. I mean, again, 10-inch TackLife with the base, and I mentioned before, I'll tell you what I paid for this, so stick with me and I'll mention that. I do have links down at the bottom for this unit. I personally never heard of it. It was the right price. I did mention also earlier that I was going to go ahead and do a little modification when it came to the stand. Now the mobile base, I had that from my other shop, but the stand and the main unit here came together with the fence came with it, the miter came with it, and remember this extends out to about there, so that you can have more workspace. We mentioned earlier, of course, if this came out further, that would be nice. It has a push stick that it came with, and it also has a mount on here for in case you need that. Around back, there's our motor, dust port, and so forth. Here's the cable. So here's the modification. This table, when I initially set it on the stand to just get ready to mount it and line everything up, the table was way down here. Okay, and I'm not very tall. I'm 5'10", 5'10 and a half, maybe somewhere in there. And I don't like it that low. So this is my modification. So these are 2x4s I put together. Of course, they go obviously all around. And then right here on the top, I put a piece of MDF I had laying around the shop, and then I bolted, screwed the unit to that instead of using the bolts in these holes to screw it all the way down here. So again, it's almost, right here is almost 8 inches higher. So again, that would be, the table there would be just about 8 full inches lower than what it was. Not a big fan of that. Okay, so for all of this, including this magnetic flashlight right here, a band that comes with it, that's actually on it, the bandsaw, and then the extra bandsaw, and I pointed out before that measuring system right there, that there's another one, that extra one that came with it. So it came with the wider one, and then they put in there for free a thinner one. And I mentioned earlier in this video how you can use that. Okay, so for the whole thing, I'm going to tell you, including shipping, minus my modification and the mobile base, the total price for this unit was $245. $245 for this unit. Now that, again, it's not those big names, but I haven't done any major project, I haven't done any hardwood on it, just regular pine, soft and select pine. So we'll be using it throughout. We'll see how it does. So that's the unboxing, the building, and my review thus far. We'll see how it goes. I had a rigid before this, that was a 14-inch, so it was definitely bigger than this, but we'll see how this one does. Do me a favor before we go, please subscribe. like the video. Please drop me any comments, any questions. Maybe you have one and you noticed some things on yours that are really nice. Just please pop that down in the comments. I'd love to interact and communicate with you. And so subscribe, like the video. Any questions or comments, please down below, and ring that bell. Thank you very much. Have a good one.